Hey guys, what's going on? We're here with another tutorial video about how to make 5 very basic AFK farms that you can see behind me. Now, not all of these are actually part of it, but we're going to go ahead and start off with this first one, which is an AFK fish farm. Now, what this farm really is it just allows you to toss your rod in the water, and then you're going to continuously right click, or you can rebind your right click button into something else, and you will constantly be fishing with this. It's a very basic setup and it does not require very much and only requires one piece of redstone working along with tripwires. So for a quick demonstration, all you need is a fishing rod. You just come in and I aim just at the corner of where that item frame is, but on the other side of that tripwire, or the trapdoor, and I just hold down right click. We get our fish, or in this case, a piece of string. Now with this, you can also go around and make this automated to where you don't even collect it. So in this one, we have it where we just have an item frame that we're constantly right clicking, doesn't make as much noise. And this one we have a note block where I just turned off the sound, so obviously if I turn it back on, you can hear it again. But in this one, it automatically collects everything into this barrel, so I just aim right at the corner there where it would be aiming at the note block. You kind of just start to get it. You gotta make sure that you're not looking at the string. That was the issue that I was just having. So as this is going on, you can just turn off the music, turn off the sound to the note blocks, and you'll get a fish that gets automatically collected into here. As you can see, we now have 2 raw salmon, and as time goes, it may take a little bit, but that's just something where you can rebind your key and put it onto, and put a weight on that key in order to just kind of make sure, just let it go, and then you can go off, do whatever else you want, watch a video maybe, just make sure that you're leaving it in this tab. Now we'll move on to the very basic one, and that is the cactus farm. Now this is the very old design, I think going back to probably 1.6 or something. I know I did this in 1.8, but all you do is it's just a simple place a block, place sand, put cactus right above where that cactus is, put a sign. That sign will then break the cactus that grows there, and then it falls down into this wire. As you just heard, a cactus broke. It falls into the water, goes down into the hoppers, and as you let time go, you start getting cactus. All you need really is just to know that the water travels 8 blocks down and then hits the hoppers. I'd suggest leaving the hoppers on top of water just so that you're always collecting the items. Now move on to a kind of newish design. I mean, this has been around since detector blocks have been around, just because they simplified this after, you know, we used to use furnaces with a certain amount of blocks in the furnace and then a comparator that would wrap around in order to do it. So what we do here is we just have sugarcane bamboo, just water is behind underneath here, as you can see, and all we do is we just let this go, and then once this grows up, it gets hit by the observers, and then those just fire off the simple redstone signals back here to hit the pistons through this block, and then it's collected by the hopper. Now this is not a surefire way to always get it, because sometimes the items will just drop on the sand and then you obviously don't get those. This is the more reliable way in order to always get the items. Obviously if you wanted, you could just block this off right here and then you'll 100% get all of them. I'm leaving it open though. And then once these grow up, they knock off, and then the minecart hopper underneath collects them up and then just distributes them down here. As you can see, as time goes on, you start to gain quite a few. Again, this is the same design in the back, where we just have redstone going out of the observer blocks into a block that then powers the pistons. It's a very simple setup. Next, we're going to an iron farm. Now this iron farm is actually working right now, where it has 3 villagers that do not have to have any jobs, and all they need is a bed, and then they view a zombie. Now once they go down, you know, once he eventually drops down, he will see the zombie and start freaking out, and as they are freaking out, that is when an iron golem will appear up here. As you can see that they start running as they see the zombie and are trying to sleep now. And there's the iron golem, and they just run away. The basic setup that we did here was just 3 blocks up, and then we did a simple 8 block down, and then for 3 blocks this goes across 8 blocks to eventually make the iron golems fall through the lava onto some hoppers. The reason that we have fences mixed in with walls is because if you did walls all around here, once you got to these corners, they would end up getting stuck, so that we just end up leaving it to where now if they go here, they go down, don't get stuck. Whereas this wall used to sit right there, it would eventually, at any point, they could just get stuck. Now, as being the player, you can pass through those. Iron golems obviously can't, but it just saves a lot of the troubles of how that would go. If you want a more in-depth tutorial on any of these, just let me know and I can always build them out for you, but as you can see, as time goes on, they do end up collecting perfectly fine. The last one is a very simple watermelon and pumpkin farm, where it's just using observers, redstone, and pistons and hoppers underneath to constantly be farming and collecting with I put a shroom light in there. But as you can see, as those pistons just fired, that means that something grew and that is now collecting it. And as you let time go on, this is actually a very useful and very compact farm, where underneath that shroom light is just a water source, so it's just keeping in to make sure everything is saturated so that the dirt doesn't dry up and kick the seeds out. And as you can see, sometimes you'll get a visual glitch like this, but it will not actually affect the growth rates of this. This will end up fixing itself, but you don't really end up seeing the pumpkins as it goes, because they just happen so quickly. The observers see it, they set off this redstone signal, and the redstone signal instantly powers the pistons. Well guys, that is the 5 very basic farms that we can create in almost any world. Some servers may have issues with the fish farms over here just because of the tripwire hooks. Some have issues with those, but overall all of these farms should work in just about any world, and especially in single player. And as you can see, I tested this also in 1.16. So if you guys have any questions or you want to see any of these more in depth or any other tutorials, just let me know and I will be happy to start creating them. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.